Another topic, and that is on conversations around nationhood. Of course, it's been 6 months, excuse me, of President William Ruto's tenure. And I want us to listen to something that the governor of Nairobi spoke about over the weekend about the conversations between Azimio la Umoja, One Kenya Coalition, versus the government at a time that a lot has been said about what Azimio wants, and the Azimio say that they are looking for a resolution of the challenges being experienced at the moment. Listen.
And no one wants a handshake, no one wants a nusumkate, but you must acknowledge all leaders. You must be able to hear what are the legitimate concerns. In very tough times, even from the time of President Moi, decisions have been made that are bigger than an individual. This country is bigger than any one person. This is our country, all of us, and everyone must be made to feel as Kenyan as the other person. The politics of exclusion are not the politics of Kenya Kwanza. Kenya Kwanza's politics and leadership is politics of inclusion. And I know that is what the president stands for. Despite him being, there are people who are, because they're afraid. I don't know why they're afraid of unity. The Bible says, blessed are the peacemakers. And that is what we want in our country.
Speaker Kaguchia, or rather, Honorable Kaguchia, does Honorable Sakaja, the governor of Nairobi, speak for you? Because we've heard from different leaders saying, we don't want any conversations, we don't want a handshake. The election is over, it's time for people to govern.
The country is a company.
You know, if Honorable Sakaja, and he's my friend and my schoolmate at Lenana School, if Honorable Sakaja comments were not coming after a blackmail, an intimidation, that is happening with Azimio, those comments would have been perfect. They would have been good. They would have been allowable. But now see what is happening. All of us know that election was done. We finished the election. And we all know the president was declared. The other party went to the court of law, all the way to Supreme Court. I mean, and a decision was made. We have a president. Now, if, sincerely speaking, you would want to have a conversation with government, come with clean hands and talk to government and ask His Excellency William Samoei Ruto, how can we work around together as Raila Odinga, as Azimio, or whoever else it is. But going to the streets and declaring that now you do not recognize the president and even say that the election was not real and that we don't have a president in Kenya, and you then come with your advocate, Honorable Sakaja, to go and argue out your case. Are you getting? Yes. Sakaja joined Kenya Kwanza quite late in the day, by the way. And we have quite a number of people who might be making arguments for the other side. And also you also need to look at...
Is an advocate of Raila Odinga?
I mean, he's advancing Raila Odinga's case. And if Raila Odinga really was not blackmailing government, if he was not on the street with mass action, you would argue the way Sakaja is arguing. I understand him. He's in Nairobi, a cosmopolitan area, where it is usually 50-50, and he has to appease both the Azimio and the Kenya Kwanza side. If you even look at his government, it even brought on board even the lady who harassed the Kenya Kwanza brigade in Bomas of Kenya, by the way. She's now a chief officer. Again, is the advice of many Kenya Kwanza people. I mean, we ought to come to the table with clean hands, if at all we have to. We ought to talk to each other with a clear mind that we are all Kenyans. And Kenya Kwanza government is not exclusive, is not excluding anyone. The Kenya Kwanza government, in terms of development, in terms of bringing on board all the regions, it is doing that. You have seen His Excellency the President put a lot of efforts to go to Nyanza. You have seen him put so much effort even to call the Gusii leaders, like now the way they were talking in Parliament, I mean in the State House. And the reason why this is happening is because the Kenya Kwanza government want to develop all the areas in the country. But as to the issue of this perennial blackmail of government, after every election, I think really for a healthy Kenya, for a democratic nation, sincerely speaking, this need to stop. And when you have heard the senior politicians in Kenya Kwanza saying, we are not going to have a handshake government, basically what you're just saying, elections also must count for something. If you do an election and we have a winner and we have someone who loses on the other side, then we must accept that the election produced a winner and a loser. And if at all the person who has lost would want in one way or another to be included in whichever way, then there are channels, there are ways of that engagement. But if you take the route that Raila Odinga has taken with his brigade, then I think the comments by Honorable Sakaja, my schoolmate at high school and my friend, those comments are also not very, very clean. And they are not comments that can be entertained. Let Raila Odinga come to the table with clean hands.